They called her the new girl before they even learned her name. She arrived early, walking through the base gates with a simple bag slung over her shoulder, dressed plainly, posture relaxed but precise. No entouraje. No rank markings that stood out. Just another transfer, or so everyone assumed. Her name, according to the temporary badge clipped to her jacket, was Laura Bennett. People barely looked up as she passed. A few eyes followed her anyway, the way they always did when someone unfamiliar entered a place built on routine and hierarchy. Laura noticed everything without staring back. She counted exits, measured distances, logged behaviors. Old habits didn't fade easily. The training yard buzzed with noise. Boots hit concrete. Voices echoed. A group of soldiers stood near the equipment racks, laughing loudly. They were young, confident, bonded by shared arrogance, more than experience. One of them, Tyler, nudged another with his elbow. "Who's that?" Another squinted. "New admin maybe." Laura heard them. She didn't react. She walked past without breaking stride, calm eyes forward. That alone annoyed them. That be why mid-morning, word had spread. New girl. Quiet. Didn't talk much. Didn't smile. Didn't seem impressed. Tyler didn't like that AT lunch. Laura sat alone at the edge of the mess hall, reading from a thin notebook while eating slowly. She wasn't hiding. She simply didn't need company. Tyler and his group passed her table deliberately, one of them bumping her shoulder hard enough to jolt her tray. "Oops," Tyler said, not sounding sorry at all. Laura looked up. "Careful," she said evenly. Tyler laughed. "Or what?" Laura met his eyes. Her gaze wasn't challenging. It wasn't submissive either. It was assessing. "Nothing," she replied. "Just unnecessary." That answer didn't satisfy him. "Unnecessary?" Tyler scoffed. "You lost or something?" Laura closed her notebook calmly. "No, because this isn't a tourist spot," he continued louder now. "People earn their place here." Laura stood. The table fell silent around them. "I agree," she said. She walked away before he could respond. That night, Tyler stewed. He replayed the moment again and again. The way she hadn't flinched. The way she hadn't apologized. The way she hadn't explained herself. Disrespect, he decided. The next day, during physical drills, Laura was assigned to Tyler's unit temporarily. The instructor barely glanced at her. "Keep up," he said flatly. Laura nodded. They started with endurance runs. Tyler pushed the pace, smirking as others struggled behind him. He glanced back, expecting to see her gasping. She wasn't. Her breathing stayed even. Her stride steady. Why the third lap? Irritation crept into his confidence. During obstacle drills, Tyler accidentally knocked a barrier loose as Laura climbed, forcing her to drop harder than expected. She rolled with it. Stood, brushed dust from her sleeve. "You okay?" the instructor asked, distracted. "Yes," Laura replied. Tyler watched closely, in no anger. No complaint. That bothered him more than if she'd yelled. Later, in the equipment bay, Tyler blocked her path deliberately. "You think you're better than us," he said quietly. Laura adjusted the strap on her bag. "I don't think about you at all." A couple of soldiers snickered. Tyler's jaw tightened. "You should." "Why?" Laura asked. "Because this place isn't kind to outsiders," he said. "And you're definitely one." Laura stepped closer, lowering her voice so only he could hear. "I've been here longer than you realize." Tyler scoffed. "Sure." She moved past him. That evening, Laura stood alone near the training grounds, watching the sun dip low. A woman approached her, older, sharp-eyed. "You're drawing attention," the woman said. Laura smiled faintly. "I noticed. You could stop it." "I could," Laura agreed. "But then they wouldn't reveal themselves." The woman studied her for a moment. "You always did this the hard way." Laura glanced at her. "People show you who they are when they think you're powerless." The next morning, things escalated. During a group drill, Tyler deliberately gave Laura incorrect instructions. She followed them anyway, knowing exactly what he was doing. When she completed the task successfully, he accused her of ignoring orders. Voices rose. A small crowd formed. "She doesn't listen," Tyler said loudly. "Thinks she's above procedure." Laura stood at ease. "You gave the wrong sequence." "You calling me a liar?" he snapped. "No," Laura said. I'm stating a fact. The instructor frowned. Is that true? Tyler hesitated. Laura met the instructor's eyes calmly. Check the log. The log confirmed it. Embarrassment flushed Tyler's face. That afternoon, Tyler made a decision that if quiet intimidation didn't work, public humiliation would. During sparring exercises, he volunteered immediately when Laura's name was called. "Oh, come on," he said loudly. "Let's see what the new girl can do." The room buzzed. Laura stepped forward without hesitation. Protective gear was issued. Rules explained. Tyler grinned behind his mouthguard. "Don't worry," he said. "I'll go easy." Laura nodded. "Please don't." The whistle blew. Tyler rushed her aggressively, trying to overwhelm. Laura moved just enough to avoid direct impact, redirecting his energy subtly. The first exchange stunned him. The second unbalanced him, why the third, he was breathing harder than he expected. Laura wasn't trying to win. She was trying to teach. She ended it quickly, cleanly, without unnecessary force. Tyler hit the mat, stunned, staring up at the ceiling. The room went silent. Laura stepped back immediately. "Are you hurt?" she asked professionally. Tyler didn't answer. The instructor ended the session. Abruptly, whispers followed her as she left. That evening, a formal notice was posted. Mandatory assembly. All units. Laura read it once, folded the paper, and slipped it into her pocket. She knew what was coming. The next morning, the entire base gathered. Rows of soldiers stood at attention. Command staff lined the platform. Laura stood among them, indistinguishable at first glance. Then her name was called. Not her temporary one, but her real one. She stepped forward. Confusion rippled through the formation that a senior officer cleared his throat. "It seems there's been a misunderstanding." Laura ascended the platform calmly. Eyes widened as recognition spread. Whispers turned to stunned silence. Tyler's face drained of color. Laura turned to face them all. Her voice was calm, controlled. "Carry on," she said. And in that moment, everything they thought they knew shattered. If this story has pulled you in so far, make sure you subscribe to Generals and Truth Stories, because part 2 is where the truth fully unfolds and consequences finally arrive. The silence after her words felt heavier than any command ever could. Carry on. Laura Bennett stepped back into formation as if nothing extraordinary had happened. But nothing was the same anymore. Every posture shifted. Every breath felt measured now. People who had laughed before stood rigid, eyes forward, afraid to move the wrong muscle. Tyler didn't blink. He couldn't. His mind raced backward through every moment. The shoulder bump, the comments, the sparring match, the way she had never raised her voice, never defended herself verbally, never explained, because she never had to. The senior staff moved quickly, quietly. No speeches, no public reprimands. Authority didn't need spectacle. It needed clarity. Laura was escorted, not away, but forward. She stood at the front now, not elevated, not separated, just visible. "You were not brought here to be tested," the officer said, voice controlled. "You were brought here to observe." Laura nodded once. The behavior displayed over the last few days has been noted. No names were said. They didn't need to be. Tyler felt the weight of every unspoken word press into his chest. The formation was dismissed. People moved differently now. Conversations didn't resume immediately. No one joked. No one laughed. They stole glances at Laura as she walked past, unsure whether to salute, nod, or pretend she wasn't there. Laura didn't acknowledge any of it. She returned to the same quarters, sat on the same bench, ate the same quiet meals. Power didn't change her behavior. IT clarified it. Later that evening, Tyler found himself standing outside the equipment bay, staring at nothing. The confidence he once wore like armor now felt thin, fragile. Footsteps approached. He didn't turn. "You were looking for me," Laura said calmly. Tyler swallowed and faced her. "I didn't know," he said quickly. "If I had known." Laura raised a hand gently. "That's the point," she said. He stiffened. "I didn't mean, I know what you meant," she replied. "You meant to put someone in their place." Tyler clenched his fists. "I messed up." "Yes," Laura said. "You did." He waited for more. A threat. A punishment. A reminder of her authority. It didn't come, but, she continued, you stopped short of becoming someone worse. Tyler looked up, confused. You wanted control, Laura said. Not cruelty. That matters. His voice cracked slightly. What happens now? Laura studied him carefully. That depends, she said. Do you want to be strong? Or do you want to feel powerful? He hesitated. I thought they were the same. They're not, Laura said. Power demands fear. Strength earns respect. She turned to leave. Wait, Tyler said. Why didn't you stop us sooner? Laura paused. Because I needed to see who you were when you thought no one was watching. She left him standing there with the truth. The next days were different. Laura observed drills, reviewed reports, spoke privately with instructors. She corrected without humiliating. She questioned without accusing. Some resisted at first. She let them. Authority didn't need force when patience could do more damage to ego. One afternoon, Laura noticed Frank, the same janitor from the first day, hesitating near the training yard. She approached him. You're allowed here, she said gently. Frank nodded nervously. Didn't want to interrupt. You're not, Laura said. You keep this place running. He smiled faintly. People don't usually notice that. Laura met his eyes. They should. She made sure they did. From that day on, no one blocked his path, and no one joked, and no one looked through him anymore. Word spread quietly. Not about her rank, about her fairness, about the way she listened, about how she corrected mistakes without crushing pride. Tyler trained harder than he ever had. Not to impress, to improve. When he spoke, it was with intention. When he led, it was with awareness. One evening, during a routine review, Laura stood before the group again. This place doesn't need louder voices, she said. It needs better ones. She let that sit. Strength isn't proven by who you can dominate, she continued. It's proven by who you protect, when no one is forcing you to. Eyes lowered, heads nodded. The lesson landed that Laura's transfer didn't last long, that IT was never meant to die on her final day. She packed the same small bag she had arrived with. No ceremony. No farewell formation. As she walked toward the gate, Tyler caught up to her. I won't forget what you taught me, he said. Laura stopped and faced him. Make sure you don't, she replied. Someone else will be watching someday. He nodded. As the gates closed behind her, Laura paused and looked back once. The base stood quieter now. Not weaker. More disciplined. More aware. She hadn't needed to announce who she was. She had shown them what leadership looked like. If this story reminded you that real authority doesn't shout, that true strength doesn't seek validation, and that respect is earned through action, not fear, make sure you subscribe to Generals and True Stories, because the most powerful leaders often arrive unnoticed and leave lasting change behind them.